When teaching English language learners, there's a variety of different strategies you can use. Today I'm going to use one that I use with my students several times that really helps. It's using visual aids. Now, the concept of plot or even reading comprehension can get kind of difficult for my EL students, so I like to break it down by using examples that they know and using a plot map to help them visualize what we're talking about. So normally we start with the concept that plot is just the main action of a story. So plot in normal life is like a fight that you have with a boyfriend or a girlfriend. It starts out with an initial fight. You're initiating conflict. This could be you and your boyfriend are walking in the mall, and all of a sudden you see him checking someone out, and you go, he's not checking on someone else. Why'd you check him out? I didn't check him out. Why were you checking them out? It wasn't me. Then you continue on, and you don't necessarily get into main fights. It's just little things like, oh, you see a text from his ex-girlfriend on his phone. Hey, you just saw him talking to some girl you don't like, and he was flirting. Hey, you saw him hanging out with some girl. This is what we call the rise in action. Our rise in action are the events that lead up to the big blowout. You and your boyfriend finally have a screaming match. You see that he was talking to another girl, buying her food. Oh no, he didn't. So, this is what we call the climax of the story. It's basically the build-up to the main fight or the main argument of a story. In different stories, it could be basically there's a big storm and now you're in the bulk of the storm. So for the perfect storm, that is our climax. Now, after that, you got to deal with the aftermath of your fight. What's going to happen? Do you forgive him? Do you give him a second chance? What do you do? This is what we call the fall in action. Some stories have the climax and then boom, resolution. What happens? Do you take them back? Do you break up forever? Some stories have different events along the way. So that leads us to our final thing, our resolution. Now, what I would normally do with my students is have them pair share about a story or a movie that they've both seen. And I would have them then create the initiating conflict. If it was a concept that they were having a lot of difficulty with, we might go over a Disney film that they had all seen, like Finding Nemo, and go over, okay, what is our initiating conflict? What is our rise in action? What's the climax of that movie? And then what is the resolution? So after that, they would discuss and then create their own plot maps before we actually get into the story. This really gives them confidence as well as helps them organize the information as they read.